Hey guys, I am Martijn, aka Mumbles, and today I'll be representing LowlandLions here in this LLL Weekly. You guys are probably wondering, what is LLL Weekly? Well, it's going to be sponsored by the LLL, of course. And you're probably wondering, how many times can you put LLL in one sentence? Well, just wait, because there's going to be a lot more of that where this is going. This event is actually sponsored by the LowlandLions. Basically a pro gaming team, specifically for the Benelux area, so Belgium, Netherlands, Luxembourg. And that is also what we're going to see with our two first feature players. The concept behind this show is going to be kind of a state of the game kind of idea, only more suited for the Europeans. Part of the problem in some situations with state of the game is that we've had them say, Nama? Who is Nama? Isn't he like some Chinese guys? Like, they're not very familiar with many of the European players. So, we want to make something more European friendly, more you guys friendly. So I hope you guys sit back, relax, and have a good show here. This is, of course, the pilot, so I have to add a little disclaimer. If we do any retakes, any kind of restarts, I do apologize. That's just how it's going to be. We got to make this an epic show for you guys. And, of course, our first segment here of this event is going to be the Battle of the Week. Mana, hey man.
Hey. I'm excited to cross those games.
Awesome. Of course, Mana is known best for his second place finish in DreamHack. Gotta say, you did an epic performance there. You're one of the best Protoss players in Europe right now. I gotta say, even though you say that you just had a good day.
Yeah, I had a good day there. Yeah, well, that was my best tournament ever. I hope I will be doing that for many times right now.
Yep, and of course Mana airs from Mouse Esports. He's Mouse Sports. Sorry, before your manager kills me again. We're gonna be covering this match here together. Meanwhile, we've got Zion from the LowlandLions spawning as a red Zerg here on this map, Metalopolis. He's of course part of LLL as well as his opponent today. So we've got Protoss Mana, we've got Zerg Zion. I mean, you've got the Terran powerhouse Entity. Entity is actually, do you know Entity from way back when, Mana? Or is he
not really. I'm new school player, and I heard that he was some kind of old school player, wasn't he?
Yep, he is actually he was actually one of the players in the first ever featured replay on Team Liquid. That is how old school he is.
Oh, okay. So I'm too young to know him.
Yep. We did see that, back in the day, there wasn't really that much pro gaming going on for these guys. So that's why Entity maybe isn't as known as these days as he was back in the day, but he is a good old-fashioned legend, so to speak. So Metalopolis close positions, what can you say? Well, we can definitely say that ramp to ramp, actually this is the closest positions that you can have. Quite interestingly enough, it is closer than Steps of War and closer to Lost Temple.
And we do see that Entity is doing a wall-off near his ramp, not at this cliff, but under the ramp. And he's blocking his expansion also. Zion can do hatchery, so he's doing a spawning pool.
Zion could have gotten the drone in there, seeing the supply depot was down. The drone actually went over the supply depot, but it didn't go inside. And meanwhile, yeah, indeed, the supply depot block here on the night.
Oh, he lost the ACV by drone. Nice play by Zion.
Oh, we actually got the kill on that?
Yeah.
Wow, nicely done.
Of course.
A one-kill drone here in the early game. So, I gotta say, these distances, not what Zerg likes, of course, because they're close distances. The way this matchup works out, of course, Zerg has to be reactive for almost all the game. You do have some exceptions, say if you go for a Baneling bust or something, but you almost always have to respond to your opponent.
Yeah, you must be very quickly to know what your opponent is doing. You have not much time to think.
Exactly. And we do see the hatchery going down. These positions are also the one position I would really recommend going full first. In cross positions, you can afford to go hatch first.
But still, it's dangerous.
Yeah, there are some people that argue, actually, some very very well-known Zerg players that would argue that going hatchery first is actually better against holding up some kind of two racks Marine. What do you think about that logic? The idea is that you get more larva out, and really, of course, that question is going to be better asked for a Zerg player. But players like Hydra and players like Red, they're convinced that going hash first is a better way of holding it off.
Well, everything in theory is pretty easy, but I don't know how it looks in practice. Well, it depends how much damage Terran can do on the early stage. When Zerg's hatchery is going to be done, it's advantage for the Zerg, so maybe they are right.
But here we see the Zerglings do need to come out to defend here. The Queen also getting pulled here, trying to get a full round on these Marines. Nicely done.
Yeah, the Xeon defends the rush. Entity loses all his links.
All his Marines.
And he have first Hellion.
Yep. So we do see Hellion come out. Oh, a lot of links here. He needs to micro this really well. Of course, that is a bit of a sweet spot there behind the gas geyser. Actually, all the units will line up in a single file. Have you ever had that with? I'm assuming you don't really see that as a Protoss as much, but when a Hellion runs by, it just dives behind the gas, behind the Vespian geyser, and does this funnel effect. So it can hit all the units at the same time. Yeah.
Okay, so we see Zion have an advantage right now. An Entity lost almost all his units, and he's in defensive mode right now.
Yep, he is trying to play it safe.
Yeah, and he's building his first Viking.
Yep, he's going Viking first, and I actually really like players going Viking first these days because it allows you to hunt so many Overlords. At the same time, he is switching up and getting Cloak right now, as well as Banshees.
So Banshee and Cloak. We'll see some harass by Banshee. Let's see how many kills he can get.
If we did see that Zion was very disciplined about just sacrificing the Overlord and actually scouting that he was going with the tech lab on his starport.
Yeah, he can predict that there will be a Banshee, maybe with Cloak. We'll see his reaction.
He is getting the lair already. The lair is now done. So I'm kind of curious to see what his next choice of tech is going to be. Whether he goes with the Spire, whether he goes with a Hydra then, whether he goes with that Evo Chamber.
Well, there's Hydraulics then. Hydra then.
The Hydra then is going to be the option. The good thing about the Hydra then is that it's built so quick. Getting a Spire up seems to take forever. So
yeah, that's true too. You must have some anti-air ASAP.
If you want to prepare for a Banshee, getting a Hydra then is always a good choice.
Yep, and the first Banshee is coming up. Let's see. One creep, two more.
Going for the creep tumors here.
Yeah. And Queen versus Banshee. Oh, that's pretty close. 1 HP.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's so close.
Queen just barely managing to stay alive here. No transfuse on the other Queen ready.
Yeah. And the Cloak is ready. Cloaking.
Snipe it, snipe it. There we go.
Yeah.
Splatter!
Finally.
These Hydras now out, but the Overseer morphing right where the Banshee can see it. That means you know exactly how long you have. Oh, nicely done down.
The second Overseer came up. So no more kills for that Banshee.
Yeah. And I know you actually, I noticed in your playing style, you get a lot of observers out. What do you think about detection in this game? I think a lot of players seem to undervalue detection.
Yeah, the detection is pretty hard in Starcraft II because of the money. But still, I think we should make more detectors to know everything and to not get damaged by harass like this. And when you have a lot of detection, you can just sit and macro because you know you won't be harassed.
Yeah, he's up to 2 kills right now on this Banshee. The Hydras are coming out to defend.
Drones coming back. 4 kills. 5 kills. And no more.
Yep, guys, please remember it is often easier to just make a second detector and keep that over each of your bases. Especially the case in Protoss, in PvT I think, but also the case obviously in ZVT, as we see here as more and more kills happen.
Yeah. 8 kills, 9 kills. Oh, and the second Banshee on the Expo, 4 kills, 10 kills.
You see those Spore Crawlers finally going to finish, and the Banshee Ras is going to be over. But so much damage done already.
Yeah, that was nice. Nice harass. And the planetary fortress in the expo of NTT. That's unusual.
Yeah,
And
that's
he got
very
the fly
defensive.
block.
That is a very very defensive placement to put a planetary fortress as your
Yeah.
second base.
Yeah.
I
But,
guess.
you know, you can't attack the expo. That's nice. But you don't have that many mules.
Yep. And look at that,
But
a
still
lot of
that's nice.
roaches coming out for Zion. What do you think about Roach Hydra in general?
In ZVP is pretty hard to counter, especially when you have Colossi and Corruptors.
Hmm.
And ZVT, I think you need Banelings anyway, because roaches get pretty. Oh, roaches just are. Oh god, I can't say. Roaches are easy to kill. Let's say
see.
that.
We do
I'm
see an
sorry.
expansion up here hidden by Zion across the map, so he's trying to hide his third. As a Zerg, you always want to be one base ahead of your opponent regardless of the matchup. What do you think, is that just as crucial in ZVP as it is in ZVT?
Let's see first the fight and oh god, Zion is going to win.
Yep.
And about the expo, I think it's very good to have a hidden expansion, just to have the economic advantage. I'm not sure if that's crucial, but if you scout the hidden expansion, it's harder to defend than the normal expansion. I don't know if it's worth it.
Yep. Zion now is going to try to pick something up, and that's something to note on this map. Your natural is really wide open, so it is it's very easy to find a good attack angle. Of course, his planetary fortress is going to shy him away.
Yeah, he's scarce. And the expo is going to the 1 o'clock for entity.
Yep, he's going to float that over and from the 1 o'clock to the 3 o'clock here. Plan that down there.
Yeah. And I think Zion saw that because he's sending 2 Hydras there.
Yep. He has the Overseer here. The Overseer probably scouted that.
Yeah. Oh, the Nidus Worm.
Seriously,
The
there's
main
a
of
Nidus Worm
NCT.
going down?
Yeah, look,
Oh,
the
there
main
it
of
is.
NCT. Oh, he scouted that. Yeah, fail.
Splatter. Denied. So the Nidus play is, I gotta say, is I think a little underrated as well. What do you think about players just not utilizing Nidus enough?
Yeah, this is a very good building, and it's way better than drop because you can just run back everyone you want to.
And he's going
you
for
can
another Nidus here.
Yeah. Oh, he's going. Oh
Banshees, are you gonna be in
Oh.
time?
no!
Just
Oh.
barely.
Yeah. A little of time.
Just in time to deny us there.
Yes.
But look at how many
And more
units.
lane.
Yeah, just more units are streaming in there. But the planetary
Yeah,
fortress
and
can
another
demolish the
Nidus
lings.
Worm. Another Nidus Worm in main. As he scouted that as well. I like the unit composition by entity: Banshee, Torse, and Marine. That's not pretty fast units,
Yep.
but they are strong.
Yeah, but he's actually able to hold this off very easily.
Yeah, look at this. Nidus Worm there.
Nidus Worm at his hatchery. Well, that could be the most awesome main transfer ever, or you could just want to have a way of rallying units there.
Yeah, I think so. It's like Nidus network in Starcraft 1.
Yep.
And the sensor tower is nice placement there by entity. He can see when he's going to attack his expansion. That's
Yeah,
pretty
exactly.
nice.
So there are a few key things that we can already pick up from this. We see the Nidus play is very strong. We see Planetary Fortress play.
Yeah.
Both, I guess, things that are a little unorthodox, but I think definitely very viable in competition.
We see a Banshee harass right now.
No Overseer there. Really should be huddling up
coming.
right now.
Oh, no Banshee.
Uh,
No. That's nice. Nice battle. Nice
Yep.
micro by entity.
Hydras on
Banshee.
creep are so slow.
Yeah, like turtle. Oh, look at this.
Barely comes out on top here.
Yeah, not enough Hydras to kill those Banshees. The Banshees are... Oh, look at kills. 9, 7, 3 kills on Banshee. That's a lot.
Massive kills
more
there.
Hydras. Here we go.
Should be able to
Oh,
pick
one
this up.
Banshee up. Yep.
Look at the Planetary Fortress. Meanwhile, this was just going to town, killed off so many units already.
Yeah, the Planetary Fortress is very strong building. You need a lot of units to kill that, especially when Terran is repairing it. And in the main 2 command center.
Yeah. I wonder if
Orbital command maybe. Get some mules.
Yeah, he's splitting that off. And we see actually Banelings here come up. If the Banelings reach the SCVs, that could definitely stop a lot of this repair. Oh, but no. One shot of Planetary Fortress just denies everyone.
Oh, he's going to kill that or not?
It's going to be so close. The mass repair just going off. Of course, you can't really mule to repair. That's kind of a waste. We see Zion also trying to kill off some of these workers here.
Yeah. Oh, that's so close. No. Oh, he's going to kill that. Oh, that was nice. And now the huge force by NTT coming up.
Yep, Zion just lost so many units trying to take that base down. He just can't get it down, no matter what he tries.
Yeah, that was a waste of units. He could just put like one Hydra near the mineral line to kill the SCVs.
Yep.
And here we got the attack of NTT. You got a lot of Thors and 3 cloaked Banshee. A nice flank by Xeon, but I don't know if it's going to be enough to kill this army.
We did see that all the SCVs actually died to the units in the back. So no more repairs on these Thors. With the SCVs there, the Thors would have done a lot more damage, but still able to come out on top here.
Yeah, and we've seen a huge advantage right now by NTT. You got a lot of minerals. You got the gold expansion and 5 Thors fighting. GG, good game.
Good
Well played
game.
by NTT. Nice tactic, by the way. Really, Planetary Fortress. Well done.
That said, that was going to be it for our match of the week here. Of course, we're going to be move on to the next segment here. The next segment is actually going to be a bit of a discussion. We'll only drag both these players here on Skype, so stay tuned, and we'll be right back with more. Okay, well, let's start off with a quick discussion of the match. We saw some pretty interesting things, didn't we, Mana? We saw you utilizing Planetary Fortress at your natural entity. What was your choice there to make a Planetary Fortress and not an orbital?
Because if you use an orbital, the only advantage is minerals, and I use a very gas-heavy build. And also it allows me to harass him without having to worry about a counterattack. Because very often, you know, when you're exposed at your natural like this on Metalopolis, especially in close positions, if you harass them, Zerg will very often counterattack, and the Planetary Fortress just stops that completely.
We did see that you actually got your 3rd base up with the Planetary Fortress as well. And Zion, you dedicated a lot of units to actually killing to trying to kill the Planetary Fortress without any success. Why did you waste that many units just trying to get it down?
Well, my Nidus Worm failed in his base because he scouted it with the Banshee. And I thought if I could take the expansion down, I would be ahead.
But you know, you didn't think that maybe taking out the mineral line or something like that would be better than actually.
Yeah, I was sure that
units.
my units could kill it.
I see. Well, and
that's the power. That's the power of having +2 armor on your buildings. People think that they can take down these forts or turrets really easily with mutalisks or ground units, and it just doesn't work because it has so much more armor than they anticipate. It's very important to get your armor upgrade.
Yep. And speaking of Nidus worms, why Nidus, Zion? Why Nidus?
Because
short answer.
I had a lot of units and I could never kill the Planetary Fortress before his natural. So I thought about doing the Nidus. But his Banshee scouted it and too bad.
That was it, huh? Well, with that, we are going to move right on to our next segment. unit of the week. We try to pick a unit of the week every show we do, and this time around we picked a Marauder. And honestly, I picked that because I knew Entity was coming. Entity, you are not a fan of the Marauder?
No, I think it's the worst designed unit in the history of RTS games.
Okay,
That's putting it mildly.
I'm sure you've got a bit of motivation specifically for why you hate it that much.
It's just silly to have what is essentially a tank with Stimpak that you can mass produce out of a barracks and has essentially no tech requirements.
Mm-hmm.
I think the game, because everything other than the Marauder has been nerfed so significantly, the Marauder itself isn't as strong anymore. But it's still just a very poorly designed unit, and I wish it never made it into Starcraft II. The same goes for the Reaper, by the way, but that's never used anymore. So
yeah, that solved itself. Definitely, there are a lot of utilities. There's a lot of utility to having Marauders, especially early bio pushes. We see a lot of Terrans open up with a very quick concussive in TVP, just so they can expand afterwards. Mana, you've probably dealt with that once or twice. What do you think is the best solution to dealing with a Terran that does go with that quick concussive against you?
You just don't have to explode that early. If you scout that Terran is going to attack you, you must defend that without any economic damage. So I think you should just make some gateways units or just make one immortal if it's going only Marauders. And then you can just force field his army when he wants to attack you and just catch it and kill.
I see. And how about Zion? Zion, you as a Zerg player, you probably hate seeing Marauders as soon as you get roaches. Is there any kind of solution you have at that point? Is it just, okay, transition out of roaches, or what do you suggest?
I try to make a lot more links. The scary thing I think about Marauder is on Steps of War, when they used to do the Marauders plus the Hellion pushes, because there my roach link wouldn't work anymore.
I see. And do you have a solution to that at all, or is it just, okay, that means I've lost?
1 second.
Okay.
Can you repeat that?
Yeah, so well, you were talking about the situation. Is there any solution you have then? Like, do you just transition out, or is that an instant loss for you, or how do you deal with that?
I really can't remember when I won against that, but not many people did it. But I think, I think it's all about the micro.
I see. So, speaking of the Marauder, of course we can argue the critical upgrades. The critical upgrades are, of course, to get then concussive and Stimpak. Entity, I know you hate your Marauders, but which would you value more? Would you rather get Marauders with Stim or with concussive?
Oh, concussive shells, definitely. I mean, it's a cheap upgrade. It researches much more quickly than Stim does. And, barring certain specific Stim timing pushes, I think you should always get concussive shells first. But as you rightly noted, I'm not an expert on Marauders because I almost never use them.
That actually makes your view that much more interesting to hear here, though.
Well, I think the Marauder is a critical part of certain, timing pushes. Mm-hmm. I think in Terran versus Zerg, if you look at the way Show plays that match, for example, he has a very successful, very early timing push with which he wins very often. And it's very simple. It's just, Hellions, Marauders, a couple Marines, and just attacking at the right moment, and he wins. And I'm not saying this is due to Marauders being overpowered or anything, but I think Marauders are a critical part of timing pushes, and I think timing pushes are overused in this game and probably a little too powerful.
It just falls like that versus Show in last time 32. If he's early Marauders and Hellions, that's a very strong push.
Yeah. I think I saw him play against Mad Frog for the EPS Nordic Finals, and it's what he did in, Martijn commented on these games.
Yep.
And so he probably remembers better than I do, but it's the same push that I just described with Hellions, Marauders, and some Marines, and he very easily beat Mad Frog.
It was not even close. It was devastating. The kind of damage that. that Show managed to do against Mad Frog was unrecoverable, basically.
Yeah.
That said, right, that's gonna be it for our little bit of discussion here. We're gonna go into questions and answers. So if you guys, honestly, I warn you guys, just turn down your speakers because there's gonna be another intro blasting. If you guys have any questions, now's the time to ask them in chat. So hit us up, and we'll see you back soon. Questions and answers. Can we ask questions? That is the first question. Yes, you can ask questions.
Nice.
And hopefully aimed at Marauders or the match that we did have. So, what does Entity think about Six Pool?
Oh, very good.
Of course, that's well. Let me intro that. That is of course a reference to your games at DreamHack versus Action Jesus. So, yeah, go ahead.
Well, actually, I learned something from that game, which is unusual considering it's such a basic strategy. But I misplaced my depot, and I didn't realize that you could wall at the bottom of your ramp using a depot and a barracks, but using the depot on the left side, in my case on Zelnaga when I was at the top right position, because that allows you to repair the depot with several SCVs. And the way I had them positioned, I could only repair my depot with one SCV, which is the reason why I lost. And there were some contributing factors as well as not being able to hear any of the game sounds due to audio not functioning properly on the stage, but that's not really much of an excuse.
Yeah, no, I definitely, it's a tough question, man. It's a little bit of trolling here.
Well, actually, I don't mind at all. I mean, it's a tournament. People abuse whatever they can abuse, and no disrespect meant to Action Jesus. He's a good player, but he is a little cheesy. I didn't mind at all that he beat me. I thought it was very unfair to Lucifron. Because realistically, both Lucifron and OGS Top should have advanced to the next round. But Action Jesus went instead of Lucifron because he spawned lucky. And Lucifron didn't quite react correctly to the 6 pool.
And as a pro gamer, at such a point, you just say play to win, right?
Well, definitely. I mean, it's a tournament. There's money on the line. Do whatever gives you the best chance of winning the tournament. However, in Action Jesus' case, after he made it out of the group, he continued to 6 pool, which I thought was a little odd. And he should have transitioned to some other kind of cheese, maybe.
Right.
Because there's no way something like that would win twice. Although in his case, he did win 3 games, so
he somehow made it happen.
Yeah, didn't he also beat Tyler?
He took a round off Tyler
pool?
with it.
Right.
With a 7 pool. He lost the second time he tried it, though.
Okay, well, that's justice.
Exactly, karma.
But I mean, Action Jesus is a nice guy, and I bought him a beer after the tournament, and we're good friends. Well, not good friends, but we're friends.
Yeah, I gotta say, Action Jesus is a swell guy, and like you said, as rough as it is to lose to 6 pool, it's part of competitive gaming. It's like a good old-fashioned bunker rush back in Starcraft 1 or something.
Yeah.
You just gotta prepare
actually,
for it.
I wasn't even really that disappointed that I lost. I was just disappointed that in all of my games I played really badly. And that's what bothered me the most. I mean, I can handle losing, especially to Lucifron, because I never beat that guy TVT. And I didn't really know what to expect from OGS Top, but clearly he's a better player than I am as well. Still, I mean, all of the games were pretty crappy.
Right. What are your thoughts on just a different question here? We have a question from Cruiser here. What are your thoughts on the Banshee? Do you think it's overpowered? Do you think it's invaluable? Or what do you think about the Banshee? That's for you, Entity.
Directed at me as well.
Yep.
Banshee's probably a little overpowered in early game harassment. It's not really a massable unit, I think. There are ways of dealing with it that are very cost effective, both for Zerg and for Protoss. I still prefer the mass Banshees because it's something different. I really don't like playing with Bio at all. Mech, unfortunately, is not usable at all in TVP, so you have to do something else. And I think some kind of a Banshee bio push is usable, but that's mainly because bio is strong and not because Banshees are all that great. People don't use Phoenix enough, That's the one thing I notice when I beat Protoss players with Banshees. They never use Phoenix enough.
What do you think about that, Mana? Using Phoenixes to deal with Banshees?
It depends how many Banshees Terran does. If I see second starport, for sure I will be going for Phoenixes.
Oh, that's actually interesting. I've never seen you do that, even against double starport builds.
Well, maybe that was my mistake or something.
I see. So what are your thoughts about just Banshees when you're dealing with them as Protoss? It at least forces you to make your second observer, as we see, when you're at 2 base.
Yeah, I'm always doing second observer just to defend versus Cloaked Banshee. But in my opinion, Banshee is very strong unit to deal with, especially when it comes to remain near the mineral line. It almost gets a minimal amount of probes, like 3 or 4, and it runs with 10 HP. That's what I hate.
Right, definitely. And Zion, we saw you had to deal with quite a few Banshees as well in this match just now. Any thoughts on how ridiculously awesome Banshees are?
Yeah, Banshees are really good, but normally I would defend with Mutalisk, but against Entity I really didn't want to do it. I was more aiming to go for mid-game attack with Hydra Roach. Because
so you say,
was sure
you say
was,
against Entity I didn't want to do it. Why did you not want to do it against Entity?
Yeah, because he always gets the store support afterwards. And that annihilates my Mutalisk. But I was going for Corruptors in the end. Yeah, I wanted to have a Corruptor army in the end to deal with the Banshee and still be safe from the Thors.
I see. Quick. We're doing one last quick question, and we're gonna do a bit of a round. We're gonna give you. You're gonna ask this question to all you guys. First off, Zion, your top 3 players in Europe right now for each race. So just your best Zerg, your best Protoss, your best Terran player in Europe. Go.
Zerg Red, Terran Nama, and Protoss Mana.
I see. So you're not gonna go with the Maga. You're actually going with Red.
Yeah, I'm not too fond of the Maga's play compared to Red.
I see. And you're not opting for a player like Whitedraw, you're opting for a player like Mana because he's in the Skype call?
Because he beats me. I don't think I've ever won against him. Not a single game.
I see.
So that's...
You did on tournament.
I did against Mana, but not against Nama.
I see. And
so that's pretty impressive in my point of view.
I see. And Mana, your top 3, one of each race?
Zerg, maybe Hydra. I'm not sure.
Hydra's not European though. Hey, we said European players.
European. I'm sorry. So, yeah, top 1, Dimaga, let's say, Terran, Shio, and Protoss, Sokka.
And you're not saying Mana because you're modest and you wanna, or you?
No, it's because I'm not the best.
I see. Well, Entity, your top 3?
Top 3 per race or 1 per race?
1 per race.
That's very difficult. I'd say Terran would be Bratok, or the Muslim maybe, or Tarsan. Protoss would be either Sokka, Mana, or Whitedraw, and Zerg is either Red, the Maga, or... That's a tough one. I don't think there are all that many good Zerg players in Europe, so... not quite TLO, not quite Lelouch, but one of those guys maybe.
I see. And I gotta say, none of you guys mentioned Jinro. Is that just because you guys didn't think of him, or?
Oh no, it's because he's currently in Korea, so he doesn't count as being European.
I see, you don't count him.
Well, I mean, Jinro is clearly most successful, I think, right now as Terran. And he's very solid. You can't really attribute any of his success to luck or cheese or anything like that. He's a very solid player, and he deserves whatever he's accomplished.
Right, definitely. And with that, we're gonna wrap it up. Thank you guys for watching today, and give us some feedback. I know there was several things that we could have done a lot better, like the audio on the transitions was way too loud. We're gonna work on that, stuff like that. If you have any kind of suggestions, things we can work out better, by all means, please just post on Team Liquid. There's a thread up there. And that said, I want to thank Mana Zion Entity for here to coming out today and helping us out with this pilot. Without you guys, we couldn't have done it. So thank you a lot.
No problem.
You're welcome.